Servant and Nolan School. You say so that. Not too sure though. What's up, Lydia? No, it's fine. I haven't really been streaming too much recently. Been just dealing with some stuff. It's still kind of crazy. This sand has literally been here since the start of the project. The sand has literally been here for years. I think it's just kind of insane to think about, to be honest. Up, Arishus. So thank you as well. What's up, Shaylin? So after I finish, I'll be mining the nether at the end after. That's the next project. There's a few other things I have to do though. Like doing a Patreon stream and having to do, or Patreon slash membership stream for like signs on the wall. 'Cause that's one of the benefits for both of those. And, then after that, I'll have to do, I have to mine some ores. Probably take like 30 hours or something like that to mine all the ores. And then not really too sure after that. I think I just gotta make the video and then I'll be doing Nether Massacre, which is mining the nether. I don't think there's anything else I have to do other than the video, Patreon, and another Patreon and making the video, or the video, Patreon, and mining the ores. I think those are the only three things I have to do. Which, I mean, it's still a good amount of time. Don't get me wrong, but yes. Yeah, I kind of understand that. I've been pretty busy. I haven't really streamed too much recently. Mainly dealing with job stuff for when I move. I did find a pretty cool job though, or a pretty cool company, or yeah, job slash company, I guess you could say, that I may pursue in the future if there isn't anything else that I'm pursuing, like tech support, for example. Like if I can't get a tech support job, it'll be an amazing backup plan. There's some sacrifice I'll have to make though with the job, unfortunately. It's only because of the hours the job is. It's like 50 to 60 hours, which I mean isn't crazy amount of hours, but just that little bit bump of hours actually makes a pretty big difference. Like from 40 hours specifically. That bump change, I guess you could say. It's like 7 to 5 days a week or something like that. So it's not like the worst schedule. I think it's actually a pretty good schedule for the amount of hours. Because uh, you start in the morning and you actually get off at a decent time. So I mean, it's not like the worst thing. It's 1.5 times. Okay, so the base pay is $16 an hour. With 1.5 times. I calculated it up, $50 hours per week. By the way, this is an entry level like help job. I'm basically just helping the I'm basically like the help right hand man to the foreman, pretty much, that I know of. That's what the job is. I'm basically helping them with projects. $16 an hour for 16 an hour, so it's 40 hours and it's 2,560. I think it's the amount. Wait, I calculated it yesterday. It was 40 hours was with the $16 an hour pay was 2,560. And with the overtime, it's like 3,500 or something like that. Somewhere around there. If for 50 hours per week for 5 days. 5 days, 10 hours, 50 hours per week. It's roughly, which is kind of crazy because for what my expenses are, which is only like 1,100 or something like that. So I'm gonna be saving almost 2/3 of my money if I do get that job, obviously. And if you're wondering what the job is, it's literally just like, or the company is basically just this ultimate boiling pot of trade, like utilities, I guess you could say. So like welding, carpentry, uh, plumbing, pretty sure, like sewer-based stuff. Just a bunch of utilities. and I basically help them with projects on anything, actually. It's kind of odd, but it's like maintenance. It's called maintenance technician. That's the job title. Actually, wait, after taxes, it's like 30... What was it? It's like, so 40... Oops. 40 times... 2,000 per month. Yeah, I'm basically just like this, yeah, I'm just a general apprentice. But the good thing is, if I wanted to specialize, apparently I can specialize if I wanted to. So, like, if I wanted to do welding, to try welding, I could specialize in welding or something like that. I don't really know how they deal with schooling. I'm not gonna lie, I just know you can specialize in it. I have no clue. They never even mentioned schooling, so they could, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna teach me. Like, I don't think there's actually professional, they never mentioned anything about schooling. They literally just talked about being taught, um, on the job, like, entirely. As odd as that sounds. I forgot to, god dang it, first. What do you mean sketch? I don't know, apparently they really like teaching, so apparently they do like this assessment or whatever that that like determines what you could do or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't hold much weight, honestly. It's almost like a general. It's almost like those personality tests, you know, I've talked about before. It's kind of like those, but I don't know. I don't think it's actually like cut in stone. I don't think you actually need a license, as long as you have the proper like safety training and stuff like that from them. Which I'm kind of glad it's like a jack of all trades area because honestly, yeah, it's in the south. It honestly like I always considered trade skills, but I never knew what I wanted in terms of skills, like trade skills. 'Cause I know I've always considered trade skills for literally years at this point of under like trying to either get into one. I just don't know. But honestly, if I could get into one for something like this where I can actually, figure out which one's actually interesting or not, then or all of it being interesting and just basically be have an understanding of all of it at least, or at least majority of it. Now I can see what actually goes on within each of the trade skills. What's up, Neb? Oh, you're actually mining one. Good luck mining in Old World, though. What I'm mainly talking about is the bugs and glitches. Mining in Old World, I don't think is that bad, but it's only like 4 million blocks or whatever. But I just don't know about like the bugs and glitches and stuff like that. I've heard people's worlds just get straight up corrupted as well, but that could have been a different like that could be based on the version that you're playing into. I could be totally wrong on that. I mean, it sounds nice though, because I feel like I can actually get a good taste of all the trade skills in one place. I don't have to go to a like a job site, like multiple job sites. I could just or what I mean by that is like go to different employers for the job sites. Or like specialized job sites. Like for example, electrical or something like that. I don't have to go to an electrical institution or whatever, or not institution, but you know what I mean, like the training alliance I tried to go to, something like that. Like I don't have to go to different like corporations or companies. It's all in one area, and I get to observe the different construction skills and trades and stuff like that 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 people do. Oh, there's no beacons? Wait, what? Oh wait, yeah, there isn't any. Oh god, I didn't even think about that. Never mind. I changed my mind a little bit on that. Maybe it's a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be. At least it's only 4 million blocks. I I don't know why that completely slipped through my head about not having beacons. Even then, I think somebody mined 20% of a classic size world without beacons. So mining 4 million still doesn't seem horrible, at least. I think people underestimate how fast you can mine without a beacon, actually. Even I probably underestimate how fast you can mine without a beacon, to be honest with you. But good luck with that, though. Definitely doesn't sound like an easy feat without a beacon, specifically. You could be one of the few people who actually... do you record it by chance? Because I would recommend recording it, because a few people have said that they've mined an old world, like Pocket Edition world or whatever, but nobody has any record on it. So I would recommend recording it if you don't already record it. I would highly recommend it. I mean, like for example, me recording this, there's a reason I focus on documentation for this project so much, because how is somebody gonna believe me that I've mined an entire classic size world by hand? Nobody's gonna believe me on that one. Like at all, honestly. I would highly recommend find some way to record it. I mean, unless you're just doing it for the sake of you doing it, um, It also helps with motivation as well, though, to be fair. But I would recommend it. It just, if you do ever find some way to record it, just to sit, just so you have some kind of, like, if somebody ever mentions, especially if you're committing that much into something like that, like a project that big, if you can ever figure out a way to record it. Gotta love the lag on this world. I don't know why it's still laggy on this section. I just don't understand. It's so laggy on this section specifically. Like, it's not bad on the last section, or even the section before that, but this one, for some reason, just, like, randomly started, lagging for like, no reason. I think it's the last section with all the water and mobs, but what's up, Randall? Hardcore doesn't exist on this version. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought I'd have more diamonds, um, on this section. I don't know why. I mean, I know I get diamonds over time, but still. Maybe I have another stack somewhere. So I'm not keeping every block. I'm keeping all the anything that isn't stone items, ironically. I'm keeping everything else though. So like dirt, sand, and ores. Those are the main things I keep. For the most part. I wouldn't say I keep every piece of everything, but I specifically try to keep as much um, dirt, sand, and stuff like that as possible. As long as it's convenient to do so. I mean, I'm not gonna stop, like, get all that sand that I just found from the old section. I'm not gonna stop and redo my inventory just for that little bit of sand. Um, the only reason I'm keeping the ores is because, I mean, it's ores, and they're pretty valuable, and they're pretty cool to keep as well. And also, it's kind of a pain to keep, especially for hours and hours on end, especially since I've spent almost 3,000 hours into this project, by the way. Doing that for hours and hours and hours on end, is pretty painful to do, to keep all the stone and stuff like that. The dirt, specifically, is for just placeholders, like a placeholder in my inventory. That's all I keep it for, really. I don't really keep it for anything else. And it's kind of cool knowing that I have over 1 million blocks of dirt kept as well. It's kind of weird. It's like the most random flex ever in this world. Even though I'm not really trying to flex, it's more like a meme than anything. It's more like, why? And that's the point. It's the question, why? Oh yeah, no sugar boxes. Yeah, that sounds an absolute, like, at least it really isn't, at least it's kind of a small area, so, I mean, at least there's that. But yeah, that definitely does suck, though, I imagine. Also, XP as well would be I think sounds like a big pain as well. The only saving grace the old world has is mending. That's the only saving grace that world even has. Even then, you still have to get lucky with the village, but if you don't get one, then you're gonna have to revive a villager, a zombie villager. So that's fun. Oh, I do have more diamonds. Alright, cool to know. My god, dude, I still have to get more chests for the. That's really unfortunate, actually. Oh, that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool way to do, XP. Only reason I don't use any, like, odd, like, farms for, like a iron farm is because I want to keep the ore count and resource count as raw as possible. To be honest with you, I'm trying to keep it as raw as possible so they don't, so it, just so I don't overinflate the amount of iron, gold, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Wow, I need to move the enchant. Wow, alright. I didn't realize how close I was getting to the, I can't believe how many ores I'm gonna have after this. It's gonna be hard to actually, oh wait, never mind. Oh, this is gonna be, I guess I could just grab my, no. Thank you, Max, for the, $5 donation. It's much appreciated. What's up, Twisted Doctor? Um, kind of busy at the moment, so unfortunately I won't probably be able to join anything like that. And it's kind of hard to, like, join other things, because if I do it for somebody, then I'll have to do it for, like, everybody, so it's kind of hard to, you know, manage something like that. Especially with me being pretty busy. I barely even have enough time to do this project, so at least for right now. I'll have a little bit more time later on. Still not that much time though when I move. Unfortunately. Which is, it's fine, honestly. the same time. I think I actually have more diamonds than I thought I did. I can't believe how many double chests that I have of this. It's actually kind of ridiculous. I have way more than I did last time when I mined all the ore. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest. It's gonna take forever to mine. It's actually pretty crazy. I didn't realize how many things you didn't have in the old world. I always completely forget how many resources you actually use in from the nether. I didn't realize, I didn't even really did think about how many resources. It's kind of crazy. That's pretty insane, actually. Seems like has its. I guess mining in old world has its own set of challenges that I didn't even really think about, to be honest. A lot of caveats for that challenge, which is kind of cool. I think it has its own. I guess it makes it pretty unique with its subset of challenges. So that's kind of cool at the same time. Which is probably really annoying, but I think it would make a. Seems like it would be less boring in certain aspects. No sponges. I don't think the sponges, unless you have like a big amount of unless you have a huge amount of water, I don't think that is that big of a hurdle, to be honest with you. Also, why did you decide to mine in Old World? I'm actually kind of curious. Was it kind of just a random idea? Or was it some, like, external thing that you've seen? Kind of curious. I can understand that. I've actually told people to mine an old world if they wanted to mine a world. Now, you probably had the same idea that I did. Well, I mean, you do have the same idea, which is like, oh yeah, this would be easier because it's 10 times less blocks. I didn't even think about the fact that of all the random caveats that the old world provides that or doesn't provide in this case, that I didn't even consider a challenge. But from what I'm hearing and like all the challenges you've had to go through, it sounds pretty difficult and really annoying with some of the things you've had to deal with recently. So that's pretty interesting. I actually don't listen to metal. It's like I do listen to high intensity stuff. It's mainly like EDM stuff though. It depends though. I'm not actually listening to anything right now. I'm kind of just talking to chat. It kind of depends, to be honest. The reason why, do you remember, I'm guessing since you saw the video about IBX Toy Cat, you know about Sword King. I mean, that was literally, Sword King was the reason I started this project, 'cause he was going really slow, which was, the world that Toy Cat showcased on this video about mining a classic size world. So, I mean, yeah. I'm actually curious if I'll actually be interested in this project. I'm really curious. Once I finish or I'm about to finish or whatever. I'm really curious if he's gonna say something about this. Yeah, Sword King 090 is a person who did Operation Bedrock. I'm basically just taking, I don't want to say taking the project, it's more like I'm finishing what he started, in a way. And I basically took the aspects of his project and I simplified some of them, like keeping every block. I'm not keeping all 40 something million blocks. This project has already taken thousands of hours. I'm not gonna make it take another 300 hours just to keep some blocks. The crazy part is though, is like, I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. It's just about mining the world. I mean, keeping the blocks is, I wouldn't say it's irrelevant. It just doesn't matter that much, to be honest. I don't remember muting myself. I didn't realize I was muted. But you have all the new like the layers, right? Like layer 64 or negative 64 or whatever it is. I think it's technically 59, but I don't remember. Maybe that's just diamond layer. Actually, I think negative 64 is the bottom layer, like the layer right before the void. I think 59 is when, pretty sure 50 or negative 59 is when the Bedrock starts appearing. Similar to this world where it's like 4, like Y level 4 is when Bedrock starts appearing, but level 0 is technically the final layer. Oh, okay. Alright, you don't have the new generation. You know what, that actually makes sense, because I don't know how I wouldn't regenerate. Unless you... I think the only way that would happen is if you didn't explore any of your world and you just made it, or whatever. Like, you recently made it. Also, when did you start your world? When did you start mining all your world? Or, yeah, when did you start it? Or your project? Because you said you were on layer 61. This still sounds like a pain, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's not as bad as, like, Y level 0 and below on the new updates, but... Oh, that's understandable. I don't really expect many people to even grind this project, or this type of project. It's pretty hard to. I am at 97%, no. I'm getting close to 98%, because the last section is roughly 2% of the world, so. I'm pretty close to 98. I'm at, like 97.5 or something like that. Something minuscule. Actually, I think I'm almost exactly 98.5%. And I hopefully will finish by like September. I don't know if I do get that job, that construction job, then I don't know how that will work out, like with hours with this project. I might have to sacrifice most of my free time to this to make any progress, which is actually okay, to be honest. I don't really mind it. So, I'll have to figure that one out later. I may have more time than I think I do, to be honest, but I'm not too sure yet. I could be underestimating how much sleep I actually need, to be honest with you. What's up, Pete? I didn't realize you were the one that asked the question. I've been pretty consistent with this project. I've kind of had to, though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was r/memes probably, I'm guessing. It was either r/memes, I think it was also on iFunny and Instagram, the same meme. They just posted it on the different sites. Also, did anybody actually, well, actually, I think at that time, I think I was at 30%. When people posted about that channel, about this channel, I was at, I think, 30%. Close to 40%. Because the thing is, when they posted the meme, actually, no. Yeah, it was around 30%. I know it was above 25% because the first ever post of this channel, the first ever time I got spotlight on Reddit for this channel or project was after 25% minimum, so. The only people that knew about this channel at the time was my friends and maybe like 30 other people or something like that. I only had 48 subscribers before I blew up, and then I shot up all the way to 27,000 in May of that year, and then I slowly declined over time, and then I shot back up another 1,000 whenever whenever Nintendo Life made an article about this project back in December of last year. And then I've been slowly decreasing again, so that's fun. So I went from 48 subscribers, and then 300 something, then 11,000, and then 27,000, and then decreased all the way to 24.3, and that shot up to 25.3, and then I've been decreasing ever since. Literally the history of my channel in terms of subscriptions or subscribers. I mean, it depends on the amount of recognition I get depends on who advertises to who. So like, if somebody advertises to like Ant Venom or IBA's Toy Cat, which I think those two people single-handedly would probably be the best ones to advertise this to, because they'd probably be the most interested in this project out of all the bigger YouTubers. Not saying there aren't some obscure YouTubers that probably would like this. Like Weefies or I think it's like Gamers React or whatever. Even non-gaming, even meme channels even would probably like this, because this channel is literally going to become a meme. It's going to become a meme, let's be honest, whenever this is finished. I'm not going to guarantee it, but dang, I think it's pretty much almost inevitable. It's almost as inevitable as me finishing this project. Critical. Yeah, it's basically just like I'm pretty sure everybody's just gonna send this to everybody, so I don't think it will matter. The more people who just know about this, the more people will be interested in it. It's basically just like, how many people can you bandwagon onto this project? The talk of the town, I guess you can call it in this case, or talk of the internet, if you want to be more realistic, less metaphysical. What's up, Markiplier? I don't know how big this will get, but I think just depending on how the bigger influencers really see this project, it will really determine how much recognition I get for this project, or how much recognition the project in itself gets. Not really, I wouldn't say recognition for the project. I mean, that's inevitable if people see it, or credibility in this case, but recognition as in like how far this project will actually go in the eyes of the internet, I guess you could say. Yeah, don't worry. I'm gonna try to ride the wave of recognition and attention. I'm gonna ride the wave for sure with the nether and just the other streams as well, and the new video. So it's not like I'm just gonna cut the entire channel as soon as I finish. We'll definitely see though. I mean, there's no guarantee this will become a thing, but honestly, considering how much this channel, like how much attention and recognition this project has already gotten, even at 40%, I can't even imagine what it's gonna get. It's a good testament that those two blowups, those main ones that I had on Reddit and Instagram and iFunny, those were an amazing testament to how people view how people just view this project in general. I mean, it was trending on Instagram, for example, and it was trending on iFunny, like right away. The iFunny post got 70,000 upvotes. It was ridiculous. And it was just a simple meme, too. It wasn't anything, like, spectacular or anything like that. Somebody posted this on the PewDiePie subreddit, and that thing got 7,000 upvotes within minutes. Like, literally minutes. Unfortunately, it got taken down pretty shortly. The r/memes got over 10,000 upvotes. Alright, see a Mikey player. What's up, Dragapult? It's probably, actually, there was a bunch of Reddit posts. I'm trying to remember what they even were. I know there was one in r/memes, one in r/Minecraft, which was the first post. Very first post was r/Minecraft, unsurprisingly. r/next level, r/IBX Toy Cat. Unfortunately, that one didn't get that much traction. What else was there? There's probably a few other obscure ones I don't even know about. If it gets corrupted somehow, I have backups. Like, I have a backup, so it shouldn't, but I mean, I'm at least somewhat prepared. What's up, legit amigo? So it won't be the worst thing in the world if this gets corrupted. It might be a bit of a tragedy, but for a short period of time, but it shouldn't be that bad. I think the only thing that's worrying me about this world is the lag. Are they really that laggy on Bedrock? What the heck? Barrels is actually a pretty interesting way to store stuff. I think if I restart... Also, another reason... Literally, one of the reasons, or at least another reason why I didn't keep the stone is because of the amount of chests I would have in the world. It'd be ridiculous. I don't want to lag my world. It's not like I'm not already lagging in the end of this world anyway, so I would rather not deal with that lag. I think the only way I could bypass the lag is if I had a ton of chests with shulker boxes in there, but that's a lot of shulker boxes. I think it's like over 20 double chests of just shulker boxes with full of stone, by the way. Or something like that. It's some ridiculous amount. How long it would take to mine the world. Interesting. I didn't know about that post. What's up, Boba? I didn't even see your name. I need to look at who actually writes these comments. I always look at the comments, and I for some reason think they're somebody writing it, but it's actually somebody new. For some reason. Like, I can see when somebody's, like, I can see who's participating, like, in chat when somebody, like, greets themselves, but it's usually when people just throw out a comment. I just don't think about it for some reason. Oh god, Here we go. Speaking of lag. I can't wait to get to the next section and I won't have to deal with this lag. At least I don't think I'll have to. Or at least not much of it, hopefully. It doesn't last long though either. I'm trying to think of how many hours I've actually spent into this project. So I only spent 500 hours streaming the first half of the world, only 500. The second half is almost 1500 hours. It's kind of insane actually. So that makes me question, like, okay, if I had to stream the rest of the other part of the world, it would be almost exactly 3000 hours of streaming. Which is pretty interesting actually. So I think my accuracy on it's actually pretty close. By the way, the 3000 hours is also, I think, including breaks, which it may not be, it may be a little bit more than 3000 hours. It may be like 3250 or something like that. I think the entire project itself is at least a minimum of 2500 hours at an absolute minimum this project takes. 2500 is fast to do this project. Gotta be booking it for that many hours. Which, I mean, isn't that bad over a course of a couple years? Because it's like, I mean, think about it, like a working week or working year is 2080 hours or something like that. That's a whole year of work, 2080 hours or something like that. This project is 3000 hours spread about almost 4.5 years. 3000 hours spread around, it's less than 1000 hours per year, which is practically nothing, honestly. I think people underestimate how much 1000 hours actually is. Or overestimate, I mean. It's just many people don't specialize in something for that many hours. Most people just chill on their phone for hundreds, thousands of hours per year, which is kind of crazy to think about, actually. I just took all that free time and mashed it into this project. I basically took people's time that they usually spend on, like, on their phone and just put it into this project. Like, it's a great way to think about it. I'd imagine. Probably takes a lot. I don't even want to know how much AFK hours I have into Minecraft on PS4 in general. I just recently hit 10,000 hours into Minecraft on PS4. And if you're wondering how I checked it, it's called a site, it's called Exophase. It basically allows you to connect your PSN or Xbox or whatever hours, your Xbox or PSN account, and you're able to check your hours on the games that you played. It's actually pretty cool. I didn't know it existed. So yeah, that's how many hours I've spent. Remember I said 3000 hours into this project, which don't get me wrong, I still could be underestimating it. It could be close to 4000. I may not even know it, to be honest. I could be totally off on that number, by the way. I don't think it's 4000 hours. It could be 3500 hours with breaks. Like the project itself could be like 3000 with like 500 hours of breaks or something like that. 500 hours worth of breaks. So, I don't know, to be honest. Oh wait, I forgot. Yeah, never mind. You have hours on your Switch if you're doing all yeah. All right, that makes sense. Makes it pretty easy to check on the Switch. I have over 2,000 hours into Smash. I don't know how much of it is AFK, but I think a decent amount of it is. Whoa, alright. Alright, game. Okay, I straight up almost died because of that lag. I mean, I know the rain's here, which doesn't help. It lags even without the rain, which is unfortunate. I'd say I'm decent with Smash for 2,000 hours. No, a lot of it isn't really that deliberate amount of hours. It's a lot of just like going into training room and kind of screwing around, but because I mean, hours in the game doesn't really matter that much in terms of skill. People could compare hours if they want to, but depending on how deliberate you are with the game, kind of depends on how good you really get at something. I think people need to stop comparing hours in terms of for like games. I've seen it in rhythm games so many times. I've seen it with hours of the game, and I've seen it with the amount of attempts per level. That's also another thing is I've seen it so many times. There's so much comparing that it's kind of sad, to be honest. God dang it. Not saying I haven't compared before. I actually usually compare in games. I can't really help it sometimes. But I try to back away from comparing myself to other people. I try to isolate myself in terms of performance. Or whatever. It could be anything, honestly. I even sometimes compare it to other projects in this game. And I only do it purely for the sake of, like, wrapping people's head around this project. Like, somebody just recently did a 2,500 hour project, which I think it's accounting for breaks because the average project to do this, the average time to do this project would take, like, 2,000 hours or something like that. But, um, I kind of compared it, but not really, because it's like it didn't matter comparing it. The only project I really compare this to is the Farlands project, and that's only because it's such a well-known project. It's a great way to get people to wrap their heads around this project. And I'd basically tell them go to the Farlands 3 times over, or even up to 4 times over. Like go there, come back, go there, come back, and then go there again, or something like that. So it's go there, come back, go there, and then come back again. You're going to the Farlands. You're doing 2 round trips to the Farlands. Even then, that's hard to say because it's also not accounting for like preparation or whatever. Because it's 816 hours to go to the Farlands with max speed. But if you account for like preparation, it's another 100 up to 200 hours. So I don't really know. I mean, it's hard to say. That's why I don't compare to these projects. It's purely because it's like it's so hard to say how many hours really have spent into these projects unless you literally have streamed every inch of your project, which I definitely haven't, especially the first half of the world. I tried to do it on the second half of the world. It didn't work though. Oh, that's gonna suck though because did you know that every single like every block that you mine in your world, you're actually increasing the file storage because you're changing the block ID or whatever, the data for that block is changed. So it's increasing the storage. So I can't even imagine what this world is in terms of megabytes. Oh yeah, I'm putting stuff in chests. Honestly, just doing anything in the world. Say just about anything yeah, just about doing anything in your world. Changes the oh god. So I'm really curious actually. I don't know why I don't check the I always forget to check the Oh yeah, you can't create any more old worlds. I remember that. That's why I've mentioned people to do this project. Why this project is actually this is the only last available or last remaining way to do this project is this world or this world size, I guess you could say. Because the Legacy version, you could still get the world, like you still get the game on PS3 or Xbox 360. So this world is it's still doable, but it's not possible anymore on Bedrock, on any other version. Fortunately for you, you saved your old world, so you're it's still possible for you. It's just not really possible for anybody else anymore. Unless you just didn't update your game somehow before they updated it. Yeah, you managed to save an old world without your world being corrupted, because by the way, a lot of the worlds get corrupted. A lot of the old worlds. I don't know if you've seen that before, but apparently they do. Like somebody mentioned about them mining an entire old world, and they said their world got corrupted or whatever. So as unlucky as that project actually is, it's also pretty lucky that you were able to even keep your old world at all. This lag actually isn't that bad. I've seen definitely had it worse than this. Up in the upper layers. It's kind of weird though. It kind of just happened though in the lower layers. Like I don't understand. Like it only started when I was at like layer 30 or something like that. It never actually started in the very upper layers. Like when I was getting rid of the water in this section or whatever. It only started when I was getting to these lower layers. It doesn't make any sense. I'm just glad the PS4 is very, apparently this version of the game is very tolerant to lag though, which I like actually. It's pretty cool. It's not like Java Edition where you're lagging and you press like one button and it just freezes and then you have to restart the game. This version it doesn't matter, honestly. It could lag for like 15 seconds straight with no frames and then it'll just go back to normal. Which it could be a bad thing though, because if it does actually freeze and you have to restart your entire system, but I mean, it's worth it for this project though, because I mean, it makes more sense. I couldn't even imagine having to restart the application every time it lagged on this project. I couldn't even imagine. I'd probably almost quit the project right then and there. I'd either quit it or it'd be like the most miserable experience possible. It's not like I haven't had to go through insanity for this project anyway. Absolute purgatory for this project. What's up, Avery? I couldn't even imagine how the PS3 or Xbox 360 would handle this world with all this lag. Oh, Jesus Christ, have mercy. I I don't even want to know how bad that would lag. It'd probably just straight up crash if it tried to run a world like this at these lower levels. Like the same situation right now, if you got to this point for some reason, I couldn't even imagine how I'd run it with all this lag. Yeah, that would be terrifying, honestly. Artsy noob. I mean, it was literally lagging like 30 seconds ago. I'll even tell you when it lags. And you'll probably see it. It's pretty obvious whenever it actually It only lags on these layers, so these lower levels, like 30 and below or whatever. It's for some reason it started to lag. I don't understand why. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Oh, there it goes. Hmm. Honestly, you should go to join the Discord and mention your project. Now the problem is also kind of hard to. What's up, Jack? Pretty soon, I think. It just depends on how much time I can spend. I don't really know though. I can't really say when this section will be finished. I think the only issue with, pointing out your, like, saying your project on there is the fact that you don't really record it. That's kind of the hard part. It's really hard to discuss, oh, I wouldn't say me discussing it, like, specifically, but you, like, mentioning your project without actually. That's the hard part about doing if you're doing a project like that, it's really hard to really even. I'm not saying people won't believe you in your projects, but it's like there's always going to be the people who want that evidence behind it, that backup. Because I've had many people tell me about mining an entire old world, or have said about mining a world, and they don't have any evidence of it. What's up, Rayan? So I have this section right here, this big section, this 431 by 100, and then I have that 31 by 431 section up there. And then it's done. Everything else is mined out. It's completely flat. Obviously, I have my base and stuff like that, but if you don't account for that, everything else is completely flat. With torches. Perfectly aligned through the entire world. All 860 by something amount. I don't know what the other part of it would be. Actually don't know how much of the world I've actually mined. I know my percentage, I just don't know how much of it in terms of area that I've mined. But the entire world is 862 by 862. Yeah, it's just slowly getting smaller and smaller. Which, to be fair, these are pretty nice chunks of the world. This is 6% of the entire world. These are pretty nice chunks of the world, to be honest with you. It's just, each section takes so long, it's like, it's kind of painful. Also, I kept the world flat just purely so it doesn't get annoying. Honestly, I kind of just did it just because of that. And also the wall as well, if you don't, like, this is the closest you'll probably get to mining a world without it being so annoying to the point where it gets infuriating trying to walk around anywhere of the world, trying to transverse the world, I guess you could say. It's kind of hard to transverse the world when you have to hop around Bedrock, and you have to deal with water flowing, and you have to place your own wall. I don't know, it's kind of annoying, but. Oh yeah, I should be finished before 2023. If I don't finish before 2023, I'm gonna be genuinely surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I should be finished before that though. I would say I could probably finish by October. And I only say October because of the job I might be getting actually works pretty long hours, so time on this project might be cut more than I thought it originally would be. So I'm gonna say October, but I think being very optimistic, it'd be September. Optimistically, it's September. I'd say being pretty pessimistically is the end of 2022, which is like November or December or whatever. So I'd say at worst, it should be the end of 2023. But if at best, it's like September. It's not even, I still don't know what's actually lagging it, to be honest with you, because the thing is, if it was the torches, every section would lag at this part. But the thing is, no other section has lagged like this, ever. In this entire project, nothing has came close to this in terms of lag. It doesn't really make any sense. So my only guess is that last section. It's all the entities that are trying to spawn in the last section, like the water. All of the squids and stuff like that. The squids, the little, like, just the animals in general trying to spawn in that little tiny section. That's the only thing I could possibly think about this game lagging for. Especially that bad. It could be also world size. I don't know how that lags it, but I mean, I need to check how big this world actually is. I'm kind of interested. Actually, I think if somebody wanted to, they could look up the amount of, I mean, if you want to, look up the amount a mining a block actually changes the file size for. And then we could just reverse engineer the formula or whatever. Not reverse engineer, but apply it to this project. So like basically just look up Minecraft file size increase per block mined or whatever, or even placed actually. So I can find something. Okay, I'm gonna mine. Oh, not mine. Well, I will be mining, but I have no idea. They really account for file size, like the amount I don't even want to know the amount of times I've saved on this world. I'm actually terrified. I'm actually kind of terrified at how big this world actually is, to be honest with you. Like, it's probably not an insane amount, but for a console-sized world, it's probably absurd. Yeah, dude, I don't know how the PS3... Because this thing drops to literally 0 frames sometimes. I couldn't even imagine PS3... I couldn't even imagine the PS3 even surviving these type of frame drops that I'm getting. Fully smooth 60 FPS all the way down to 0 within like half a second, if not even less. It straight up just freezes for like I've actually had a time where it froze for like 10 seconds straight trying to leave this area for some reason. It was absurd. I don't know, maybe Minecraft just can't handle this world after a certain point. Maybe this world's too much for this. Maybe after I'm fairly certain it's the section though, like I'm almost 100% certain. Once I mine that next section, or if I even get rid of all the spawnable areas, like getting rid of all the like grass and water specifically, Once I get rid of those two things, those two spawnable spawnable blocks, I'm pretty sure it'll go smoothly, but I'm not 100% certain. Oh yeah, I remember the Bedrock Edition with the Elytra. That thing was that thing could not handle the Elytra. I swear, Bedrock Edition, that performance, unless it's Windows 10, it does not run. They really botched the console editions, to be honest. Console edition, every version that isn't Windows 10, pretty much. They've kind of botched it, unless eventually they, fix it up a bit, but... Yeah, because for some reason they were like, yeah, let's make cross-platform with a console and a PC, because that's great. It's not like they have different requirements or anything like that. Let's have a old smartphone try to be cross-compatible with a PC and a console. Yeah, that's great. What could go wrong there? Honestly. They're doing like the bare minimum. That's pretty much what I would say Bedrock is. Bedrock is like the bare minimum of Minecraft. It's really sad to say, but it honestly really is. It's pretty bare minimum. They're like, oh yeah, the community wants features. Let's just screw everything else up for the sake of features. Even then, they're still not even doing that right. Because they're still delaying features for this game. So it's like, yeah, you guys had one job and you still mess it up somehow. Even though they probably don't even see it that way. Because they're turning a blind eye to the community. Yeah, like, unless it's like Windows 10. To be fair, it's the Pocket Edition, like, engine, I guess you could say, that they use. So it makes sense that it would run better. But it's like the fact that they tried converting Bedrock, the Pocket Edition engine, to a console game. That's the biggest issue. If they kept it separate, that would have been fine. Like, I get what they were going with. They also could have done something better and somehow managed to cross-platform a console edition instead of trying to cross-platform the consoles and PC. They could have kept those separate and just cross-platformed Xbox and PS4 and PC and mobile or something like that. They could have done that instead, but no. They wanted to cross-platform everything. It's not like they didn't keep performance in mind on something like that. There's a reason why consoles need different treatment than PC. They're completely different systems, different needs, and different engines, and different ways of processing data. Different specifically built CPUs and GPUs that run completely different from, or I wouldn't say completely different, but they run specific to consoles. Like, I would say just keep the legacy to console because it's specific to console, and then just have Bedrock be on PC and phone. That's it. That's all they had to do. All they had to do was cross-platform PC and phones and cross-platform the different consoles. That's all they had to do. And instead of doing that, since it's still two versions of the game, they could have just moved the PC, like the Java edition. They could have moved the Java edition to the phone and just cross-platform the legacy version to the different consoles. They'd been perfectly fine because they optimally run. I would imagine Java edition optimally runs pretty well on a phone and a PC. Hence, logically speaking, if Bedrock edition runs better or runs well on a PC and phone, then I'd imagine a legacy version or a Java edition could run perfectly fine on a phone. First, vice versa, like that type of thing. That correlation. I'd imagine it runs pretty well, or it could run pretty well. Maybe some slight tweaks. Yeah, I don't think something like that would happen. Because I mean the legacy version like is specific to to console. So if they'd have just done that, they actually probably would have been perfectly fine. They would only have to be running two different versions, and both parties would be happy. Because one is specific to console and one is specific to Java. And then they could have they could have potentially cross-platformed all the consoles with the PCs in probably certain ways. They probably could have made something like that happen. Had 4J Studios run the console and have Mojang run Mojang and Microsoft potentially, or Microsoft kind of like oversees both potentially, Legacy and uh, Java Edition. So they'd still only have two versions to run. It's just that they're specific to those devices performance. They're catered to the performance. So they could have done something like that. I don't know how they would cross-platform Java and or Java and Legacy, but that may not be possible. They could just keep it separate, but that would be perfectly fine. I don't think anybody cares. I don't think anybody would mind that, to be honest. Well, it's only because the only reason Legacy even runs so well on this is because it's catered to console. It's designed for console. It's completely designed for it. So I don't know how it would run on PC. It would just depend. Um, but if they just kept Legacy, discarded the idea of Bedrock Edition, they just had Legacy, and they continued working on Java, that would be perfectly fine, to be honest. Even if the Legacy version was still closed source, they could have just had both of those versions be perfectly fine. So, but no, they were like, yeah, let's just make it all for one version. Like, that's a great idea. I think there's like two main things they just need to fix. Three things. Redstone, performance, and the not reporting, the censoring system for Bedrock. Those are the main three things. I think if they fix three of those things, I think people would be way more open to Bedrock if it wasn't for those three things holding it back. It's like this. It's like the performance was garbage when Bedrock first came out, if you remember that. But it's like it hasn't really gotten much better, which is kind of sad since it's been out for what, like 5 years or something like that. pretty sure PS4 got it in Sony or PlayStation got it in I guess you could just say PlayStation got it if you're going based off of consoles. PlayStation got it in 2019 and I think Xbox got it in 2017. I think. I could be totally wrong on that. Also, this feels so slow. You know, I feel like when I'm walking in this world, I feel like I'm walking in slow motion just because there's nothing around me. Look, I am sprinting right now. And I feel like I am going, I was gonna say shifting, but that's PC. I mean, like, I feel like I'm just like walking in slow motion. It's like, oh god, dude. Yeah, I don't think they really thought ahead on the performance of 1.18 in that case. Don't entirely blame them that much, because they're kind of just trying to cater towards Windows 10, let's be honest here. Windows 10 is definitely their prized possession. They don't really care that much about the consoles, which is really sad because if they don't care that much about consoles, if they're not really open to increasing performance for consoles, then they need to probably just give 4J Studios console edition or like get 4J Studios back. Either bring back the console edition or make a new console edition for some reason that's tailored to the performance of consoles instead of trying to think that somehow a PS4 compares to a PC, even though they run completely differently. Oh god. Nope. Legacy has a 22 chunk render distance. Or at least the PS4 version does. I don't know what the Xbox 360 or the PS3 have, but I know that PS4 has a 22 chunk render distance, which makes this more insane if you look at my world. When you really think of the perspective of my render distance, the 22 chunks, you can't even get close to seeing the border, which is what makes it kind of ridiculous. Is it actually 18? It's still ridiculous though. I swear to God, I thought it was 22. Look it up real fast. I swear I saw it somewhere. I could be. Need to move out of the way. Hopefully I don't get blasted by the dragon, but oh, it is 18. Never mind. That was 20. I don't know where I got 22 from then. Never mind. It is 18. Oh, okay. Bedrock. Okay, yeah. No, that makes more sense. Okay, 18. That's still crazy though. That's what I was thinking of. Wait, PS3s. 12 or 10? My god, have mercy. I'm surprised some of those even missed, or at least this first one. This one I really had a mouse. I really wish I had a mouse. Actually, this is that project I wish I had a mouse. This project would be quite a bit faster actually if I had a mouse and keyboard. Specifically a mouse though. I'd have new, better mining technique. PS Vita had a 5 chunker. Oh my god, dude. That's really sad actually. Somebody said they were mining an entire world on PS Vita. They did like 20% of the world or something like that. Without beacons, by the way. It was like 7 million blocks or something like that. It was pretty ridiculous without a beacon. They spent apparently a few years on it. No, unfortunately no. It makes sense though, because it is a console port, so it kind of makes sense that it doesn't have keyboard and mouse support. Unfortunately, I have tested it multiple times actually. Like it even shows my PS4 is connected to a keyboard and mouse, but it just won't work on that version. I think the menu works, if I remember correctly, but not the actual game. It doesn't translate the controls or anything like that, unfortunately. God, dude, I can't even imagine can't even imagine playing with a 5 chunk render distance. That sounds really bad, not gonna lie. Dang game. Really slugging here, apparently. I think I need to move my bed. Still don't understand what's happening. Like, I know there's more entities in this area, but my god, I've done this before. Like, that's the thing. I... It could just be the game not being able to handle this world. But it's so sudden. That's the only thing. If it was, like, a little bit laggy at some points, it would be like, okay, well, it's starting to get laggy. No, it went from, like, 0 to 100 real fast with lag. It's hard to say if a game that it's hard to say if this version can even run that well on console or on a PS or PC. It's hard to say how well it can actually run on PC or phones in general, just because it's made for console. That's the thing. Now, I could be underestimating it. They could run it perfectly fine. It's hard to really say. To be fair, phones in 2014 really weren't that fast at all. Like, at all, honestly. 2014 was barely even into gaming for phones. That was honestly, like, I would say that's the peak of phones in general. Like, I'm talking, like, smartphones as a whole, like, just smartphones. The peak of the, I guess, the popularity of smartphones becoming a thing. Like, mainstream. Like, phones, I think 2013 and 2014 was when phones became that mainstream new tech item, I guess you can call it. Like right now, electric cars are the new smartphone for 2022 or like from 2014. Smartphones, electric cars are the new smartphone, I guess you could say. The new trend. Are they ported like without any drawbacks? Because usually they do. I would say, okay, maybe the reverse is probably more difficult, right? Like transferring from a PC to a PS4. I would imagine is infinitely more difficult than um, a PS4 to a PC or whatever. Or I mean, reverse it. So like a PS4 to a PC would be infinitely more difficult than a from a PC to a PS4 or whatever, or vice versa. I don't remember the direction. So it'd be easier to port a console game to no wait. I think it would actually be easier for a PC to port to a console than a console to port to a PC. I don't really know though. Like I would imagine it is easier to port a console game to a PC because the console limits the game, but the PC unleashes the hidden potential of that game, like 4K. You mentioned 4K. So I would imagine it's easier to port a console to PC than a PC to a console. Now it could be different, like a game like Minecraft because of the different engines that they use and stuff like that. I don't really know, because Minecraft might be a different case. Because because the thing is, if it was that easy, like performance was that well, then shouldn't I'd imagine if a phone can run Bedrock Edition that well, but a console can't, then it may not just be the game itself, like the portability of or the porting of the game. It's like how well does it actually port based on like the way it runs and the way what software it uses and stuff like that, or like what programming language. Like Minecraft might be some exception. I have no idea though, to be honest. I'm not that heavy into like uh transferring from a game to like transferring porting over games. I'm not really that big into porting games or having seen games being ported over. Because I mean, I'm not really that interested in the gaming community as a whole. Not really at all. I'm more interested in the tech community more than the gaming community, so it's not like that big of a thing for me. So I don't really know. I'm going purely off of more hypothetical than anything. And kind of what I've seen when it comes to porting games over.